If you live for people's acceptance, you will die from their rejection. All sins are forgiven once you start making a lot of money. To live is so startling, it leaves little time for anything else. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. Courage is feeling fear, not getting rid of fear, and taking action in the face of fear. Humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. Our battered suitcases were piled on the sidewalk again. We had longer ways to go, but no matter, the road is life. A bird is safe in its nest, but that is not what its wings are made for.
Talent is helpful in writing, but guts are absolutely essential. A true genius admits that he knows nothing.
Of life's two chief prizes, beauty and truth, I found the first in a loving heart and the second in a laborer's hand.
He who requires much from himself and little from others will keep himself from being the object of resentment.
Once war becomes a clash of absolutes, there is no breathing room for mercy. Absolute truth is blind truth. There's no such thing as ruining your life. Life's a pretty resilient thing, it turns out. Maybe this is why we read, and why in moments of darkness we return to books, to find words for what we already know. On the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time. Almost anyone can be an author. The business is to collect money and fame from this state of being.
I care for no man on earth, and no man on earth cares for me.
There's a fire against us, and in the end, the fire could burn us or ignite us into an unstoppable force.
Without local guides, your enemy employs the land as a weapon against you. Nothing is permanent in this wicked world. Not even our troubles.
The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to and then do it. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. If you think life is magical or life is hard, either way you are right. Your thoughts are the source of reality. Walk at your own pace. Don't run after others because your journey may not be the same. Being sensitive is a gift that fosters peace. Help create a kinder, gentler world by embracing it. The heart has its reasons which reason knows nothing of. We know the truth not only by the reason, but by the heart. When I explored my deeper mind, I could understand that my life is only an illusion, an apparent reality. I'm sorry for my inability to let unimportant things go, for my inability to hold on to the important things. Whenever something bad happens, keep calm, take a few deep breaths, and shift the focus to something positive. If you can't feel gratitude when you are in need, the feeling of the need would never leave you, even if it is fulfilled.
Except our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power.
One must reach out and try to grasp this astonishing finesse, that the value of life cannot be estimated. I'm the one that's got to die when it's time for me to die, so let me live my life the way I want to.
She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate.
Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. Those who wish to market their good deeds must do well to place their bad deeds on the shelf too. I'm not into this whole move with the times thing. I reckon we should just decide on a year and stick with it.
People are the most difficult thing in the world to change. Have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish.
The worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you. Nothing is as it seems, but something is everything it is made out to be. We are the sum of all people we have ever met. You change the tribe, and the tribe changes you. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. If you cannot find an element of humor in something, you're not taking it seriously enough. Don't be afraid of what lies in the darkness, because sometimes the things hidden in the dark are our greatest ally. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
The good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy.
Spies cannot be usefully employed without a certain intuitive sagacity. Sometimes we don't get second chances, Owen. Sometimes things just end. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. One word of encouragement can be enough to spark someone's motivation to continue with a difficult challenge.
Life is worth living as long as there's a laugh in it.
Light must come from inside. You cannot ask the darkness to leave you. You must turn on the light.
Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore.
When you've tried everything and failed, try everything else and succeed.
One must wait until the evening to see how splendid the day has been.
Courage is living by the free will that one creates for themselves, not the life of monotony determined by another. It takes no more time to see the good side of life than to see the bad.
The more you face challenges, the less you fear them. You know, there's no such thing as a complete lie. There's always some truth in there. In the cherry blossom shade, there's no such thing as a stranger.
In the face of change, do not be afraid to spread your wings and let the winds guide you to new horizons.
If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough.
Men will not accept truth at the hands of their enemies, and truth is seldom offered to them by their friends. If I had to live my life again, I'd make the same mistakes, only sooner. If your absence doesn't bother them, then your presence never mattered to them in the first place. People's lives take them strange places. They do strange things and, well, sometimes they can't talk about them. Night is a time of rigor, but also of mercy. There are truths which one can see only when it's dark. No matter how much experience you have, there's always something new you can learn and room for improvement. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things. Every man has his secret sorrows, which the world knows not, and oftentimes we call a man cold when he is only sad. Success is doing what you want to do, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want. It doesn't matter what we are, it matters what we do.
He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing.
When I was growing up, I always wanted to be someone. Now I realize I should have been more specific. Youth is easily deceived because it is quick to hope.
I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist, and right.
The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. Use the wings of the flying universe. Dream with open eyes. See in darkness.
A path doesn't appear on its own. We've to make it, and we can make it.
Man starts over again every day, in spite of all he knows, against all he knows. Where there are bees, there are flowers, and wherever there are flowers, there is new life and hope.
Stay quiet about your goals. Soon your results will do all the talking.
Never let hard lessons harden your heart. The hard lessons of life are meant to make you better, not bitter.
When envoys are sent with compliments in their mouths, it is a sign that the enemy wishes for a truce.
Life has more imagination than we carry in our dreams. Life is something that happens when you can't get to sleep.
In order to form an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must, above all, be a sheep.
The average passenger eats enough calories to keep them weight gain a year old for a week and a half. If you do not enjoy a moment, you lose it forever. If you enjoy it, it is yours forever. The public have an insatiable curiosity to know everything except what is worth knowing. With a secret like that, at some point the secret itself becomes irrelevant. The fact that you kept it does not.
Nothing truly valuable arises from ambition or from a mere sense of duty. It stems rather from love and devotion towards men and towards objective things.
To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice.
Because you can only die once, but you can suffer forever. It does not matter how long you live, but how well you do it.
Everything that can be thought at all can be thought clearly. Everything that can be said clearly. If you want to be happy, do not dwell in the past. Do not worry about the future. Focus on living fully in the present.
If those at your top are weak, your bottom will be rotten.
The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself.
To know that we know what we know, and that we do not know what we do not know. That is true knowledge. The eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. I very rarely think in words at all. A thought comes, and I may try to express it in words afterwards.
An ability to look into the confusing mess of life and see things for what they are. As long as your ideas of what's possible are limited by what's actual, no other idea has a chance.
Nothing isn't better or worse than anything. Nothing is just nothing.
Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you started. Some roses grow through concrete. Remember that. Success is something you experience when you act accordingly. Success is not something you have, it's something you do. Keep your friends close, your enemies even closer. I can be forced to live without happiness, but I will never consent to live without honor. Doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment. I don't think that there are any limits to how excellent we could make life seem. Beware of those who are bitter, for they will never allow you to enjoy your fruit. I postpone death by living, by suffering, by error, by risking, by giving, by losing. Your past is a place to learn and grow, not a place to live. Real courage lies in being able to believe in yourself enough to try again tomorrow, even after a tough day.
The most important person you meet in life is your higher self.
Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. Never apologize for showing your feelings. When you do, you are apologizing for the truth.
Man in general, if reduced to himself, is too wicked to be free.
There is no sickness worse for me than words that to be kind must lie. Good works is giving to the poor and the helpless, but divine works is showing them their worth, the one who matters. People often claim to hunger for truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up.
It is man's natural sickness to believe that he possesses the truth.
Pursue what catches your heart, not what catches your eyes. Defeat is not the worst of failures. Not to have tried is the true failure. It is said that your life flashes before your eyes just before you die. That is true. Called life. Regret is mostly caused by not having done anything. I like shape very much. A novel has to have shape, and life doesn't have any. If you are a giver, remember to learn your limits, because the takers don't have any. Life equals running, and when we stop running, maybe that's how we'll know life is finally finished. I never expect a perfect work from an imperfect man.
Feel your emotions, live true your passions, keep still your mind.
Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
Yea, all things live forever, though at times they sleep and are forgotten. You don't get paid for the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. It is more important to out-hink your enemy than to outfight. It takes a huge effort to free yourself from memory.
Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18.
You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore.
History, Stephen said, is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake.
One day you'll see why God made you wait.
Not every instance requires a response. Truth resides silently in the seat of power.
Never limit your view of life by any past experience.
Only those people create history who doesn't live in the future.
Your life will not end with death. You are immortal. You are always there, and you always will be.
I kept always 2 books in my pocket, one to read, one to write in.
All I am fighting for every day is to make up for the time I had lost. Use your time wisely. Your conscience is the measure of the honesty of your selfishness. Listen to it carefully.
Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts.
With the truth, all given facts harmonize, but with what is false, the truth soon hits a wrong note. Anything can be done, as long as you truly believe it. We live in an age when unnecessary things are our only necessities. People can cry much easier than they can change.
You can't understand where someone's going unless you understand where they've been. I knew I was alone in a way that no earthling has ever been before.
It's no use going back to yesterday, because I was a different person then.
Remove the clowns from your life before you become one.
Your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today.
Celebrate true friends. They are a part of you that always sparkles. Once you really know yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing about you. One day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do the things you've always wanted. Do it now. It's not what you are in life, but what you make of it.
Accept yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your truths, and know what tools you have to fulfill your purpose.
A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top.
If a man is to live, he must be all alive, body, soul, mind, heart, spirit. Power does not corrupt. Fear corrupts, perhaps the fear of a loss of power.
The inner fire is the most important thing mankind possesses.
The end may justify the means as long as there is something that justifies the end.
Correct your mistake as soon as you have found it.
Difficulties increase the nearer we get to the goal. Perception was easily accomplished, required little effort, and it never had to stand the test of reality. The words he said, too, must be human enough to bleed. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on.
You are in charge of your own happiness. You don't need to wait for other people's permission to be happy. What we can change is our perceptions, which have the effect of changing everything.
Price of peace could only be valued by people who had suffered loss in the war. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth.
I know the joy of fishes in the river through my own joy as I go walking along the same river.
Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friends.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone.
We are seeds as well as parasites to the earth. We can either give or take, depending on our perception of growth.
Face reality as it is, not as it was, or as you wish it to be.
The revolution is not an apple that falls when ripe. You have to make it fall. I want someone whose heart is big enough to hold me.
He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still.
It is easier to be wise for others than for ourselves. We have no right to just stand by and watch them tarnish our tomorrow.
I'm not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions.
Humor is what happens when we're told the truth quicker and more directly than we're used to. Focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself. Never hold tightly onto the past, because it will only limit your ability to move forward. The shortness of life, so often lamented, may be the best thing about it. A hero is not known by the number of battles he has won, but rather by the kind of battles he chooses to fight.
Breathing control gives man strength, vitality, inspiration, and magic powers.
Hate is nothing when weighed against survival. Some concepts are so incredibly risky they take an honest fool to try to articulate them. Be a surfer, watch the ocean, figure out where the big waves are breaking and adjust accordingly. You look ridiculous if you dance. You look ridiculous if you don't dance, so you might as well dance. One lie has the power to tarnish 1,000 truths. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing badly. You better hide that heart of yours. Won't lead you anywhere you want to go.
Don't bite off more than you can chew, because nobody looks attractive spitting it back out.
When we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed.
Not knowing you can't do something is sometimes all it takes to do it.
When ill luck begins, it does not come in sprinkles, but in showers. When at last I ceased to be myself, I came to be. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy.
It is a very natural human trait to destroy that which frightens us. For we can only know that we know nothing, and a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside. Beyond the fiction of reality, there is the reality of the fiction. If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it. It's such a shame to waste time We always think we have so much of it. Once friends as batchmates, but now different batches divide us. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. A star is not honored for its size, but for its light.
It doesn't matter how far it is for you to reach your goal. What matters is your aim to succeed. Autumn is a place where words fall short. It is a magic that must be felt, breathed, experienced, and treasured. In life, there are two things which are dependable: the pleasures of the flesh and the pleasures of literature.
Life isn't worth living unless it is lived for someone else. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across.
Success does not consist in never making blunders, but in never making the same one a second time.
If you are willing to go out on a limb, the tree of life holds endless possibilities. Filter out the irrelevant noise. Focus on the objective.
Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. When you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality.
Don't have hope that your situation will be better. Have hope that your future will be brighter. The act of taking the first step is what separates the winners from the losers.
Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character.
Anything that smiles often needs to be reminded that the world is a cruel, dark place. Mixing old wine with new wine is stupidity, but mixing old wisdom with new wisdom is maturity. Some want to live within the sound of church or chapel bell. I want to run a rescue shop within a yard of hell.
You must accept the truth from whatever source it comes.
My hope still is to leave the world a bit better than when I got here. The key to flow is to pursue an activity for its own sake, not for the rewards it brings. Do not despise your own place and hour. Every place is under the stars. Every place is the center of the world. Making time to experience joy is the single most important thing you can do to heal your heart.
Understanding that rests in what it does not understand is the finest.
We have all been through something. It's how you create something out of it that matters. Some beautiful paths can't be discovered without getting lost.
An over-examination of life can deter you from life itself.
With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy.
The better organized the state, the duller its humanity.
No human should mislead another by promising them something they know to be untrue.
There are few reasons for telling the truth, but for lying, the number is infinite.
When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there.
Let everything be allowed to do what it naturally does, so that its nature will be satisfied.
Sadness is sometimes the start to eternal happiness. Life is too short to waste your time on people who don't respect, appreciate, and value you. I would rather make mistakes in kindness and compassion than work miracles in unkindness and hardness. That's what fiction is for. It's for getting at the truth when the truth isn't sufficient for the truth. Stress is a consequence of negative happenings or impact in life, but important is how to overcome it. The reason I talk to myself is because I'm the only one whose answers I accept. Books are mirrors. You only see in them what you already have inside you.
Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Anger is bad. Dump it. Fear is awful. Face it, memories are sweet. Cherish them.
It's more fun to think of the future than dwell on the past. It's never overreacting to ask for what you want and need. You cannot score a goal when you are sitting on the bench. To do so, you have to dress up and enter the game.
Stop being okay with everything.
See yourself as you really are. Accept the good and the bad. Only then can you truly share yourself with another. The more you try to please people, the more they get control of you, and you'll end up hurting yourself.
Make improvements, not excuses. Seek respect, not attention.
When you connect to the silence within you, that is when you can make sense of the disturbance going on around you. Life will never conform to all of our desires, ever. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times.
I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. I'm not going to die. I'm going home like a shooting star. As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere.
It's a lack of clarity that creates chaos and frustration. Those emotions are poison to any living goal. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Don't tell me about your God with your words. Show me about your God with your actions. We are here, and it is now. The way I see it is, after that, everything tends towards guesswork.